I'm not perfect, God, neither are you. Tell these salty motherfuckers to tell the truth. Tell politicians to give up the rooms. Tell silent voters to stand up to the booth.
God, it's me. Can you hear my plea? Feeling like I'm lost in this world, can't you see? Demons creeping in, trying to take control of me. But I'm just trying to find the light, trying to break free. I'm not perfect, God, neither are you. But why you keep forgetting me? What did I do? Trying to have a convo, but you starting to preach. Feeling like I'm on a leash. Can't find no peace, find no peace. Living in hell, can't you hear my plea? I'm suffocating, can't you see? Why you let these false prophets roam free? While the well-run suffer, can't you see? I'm not perfect, God, neither are you. Why you keep targeting me? What did I do? Trying to have a convo, but you starting to preach. Feel like I'm on a leash, can't find no peace.
Hardest battles, strongest soldiers, greatest burden, broadest shoulders, pushing up just like these boulders. This conflict like it's water, so this mercy, take my chalice, seeking grace through all this malice. All of these salty motherfuckers could give out.
Politics and sinners, they all the same. Got me stuck in this endless game. But I won't give up, won't play the role. Gotta do what's best for my soul. I'm not perfect, God, neither are you. Tell these salty motherfuckers to tell the truth. Tell these politicians to give up the room. Tell silent voters to stand up to the booth. Living wild but truthfully free. God keep on watching over me. Take my pleas and keep the receipts. I just want all of you.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. You already know I do this. Independent music. And this morning I have Show Off by Bryson Gray, Tyson James Music, and the Marine Rapper. And we'll be right back right after this.
If the world reject me, your loss. They supposed to hate you anyway. Show off. Show off. They supposed to hate you anyway. Show off. Go ahead and let your light shine. Show off. Glorify the Father every time. Show off. Show off. They supposed to hate you. Show off. Go ahead and let your light shine. Show off. Glorify the Father every time, show off. Gonna show your faith out before they ask me what I mean. This a Christ song, Matthew 5 verse 16. You either hot or cold cause he don't like them in between. Let them know it's Christ before they ask me who the king. We get into that scripture if they really listen. Cause Satan never been scared of a quiet Christian. Those that endure gon' be saved. I'm trying to go the distance. That's Matthew 24:13 if you pay attention. John 15, I hope you know they supposed to hate us though. If it ain't about sin, they not gon' play it on the radio. We just playing seeds, I know the Holy Spirit make it grow. Let your light shine so they can watch it like their favorite show. I don't care if the world reject me, your loss. They supposed to hate you anyway. Show off. Show off. They supposed to hate you anyway. Show off. Go ahead and let your light shine. Show off. Glorify the Father every time. Show off. Show off. They supposed to hate you. Show off. Go ahead and let your light shine. Show off. Glorify the Father every time. Show off.
Glorify the Father, better show off. Menace to society. I ain't like that old dog. LeBron will never be the king. Better take that robe off. You think I'm in it for the bling? I kinda think you're so off. Gon' let the haters hate. They gon' get what's coming. They gon' end up in that lake. Better use that gift or you gon' lose it. Better show off what you doing. Put your heart into it, do it. Show the people what you brewing. I built a house and then I sold it. Tell me what you know about that. Blood, sweat, and tears. Now God entrusted me to grow that stack. Look, give your life to Christ, he'll take the load off. So when you walk in dark rooms, you light it up, so show off.
I don't care if the world reject me, your loss. They supposed to hate you anyway. Show off. Show off. They supposed to hate you anyway. Show off. Go ahead and let your light shine. Show off. Glorify the Father every time. Show off. Show off. They supposed to hate you. Show off. Go ahead and let your light shine. Show off. Glorify the Father every time. Show off.
Show off, I'm about to show off. I am cancel culture for you cobras, back to Molons. Rather be offensive than on fences that y'all all on. How many devils you stomping? Everyone that G.I. Joe on. Luke 10:19, stomp a cobra quick, and we mean his word like an asterisk. Smack a demon head with the B-I-B-L-E. Said what I said, never need parentheses. Matthew 6:1, it's not for you to see, it's for the only one. I'm talking G-O-D. I don't care if the world reject me. I stay 10 toes, eyes on the Lord. Those with horns gon' reject me.
I don't care if the world reject me, your loss. They supposed to hate you anyway. Show off. Show off. They supposed to hate you anyway. Show off. Go ahead and let your light shine. Show off. Glorify the Father every time. Show off. Show off. They supposed to hate you. Show off. Go.
That was Show Off by Bryson Gray and Tyson James and the rapper Marine. One of the first things that I wanted to talk about was about a situation in St. Paul where they had a ride along with them that day, and it turned out deadly. I do believe that needs to be changed. And there's so much. This the one crazy part that I really do feel like people don't understand is there's so much happening, and what can you stay ahead of? Like, do you feel like you're being pulled in all different directions? I can tell you I do. And I haven't been in this place where I'm at right now. And before my stroke, when we were doing Operation Hug the Block, because the gloves need to come off, and I've been saying this for the last couple of months. Do we need to remain ethical with these people? Do we need to remain ethical, or do we fight fire with fire? And I've said it all along. I think it's time to fight fire with fire. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, you can see with everything going on, right? They're not going to do it willingly. So you're going to have to make people. This is the one crazy thing, right? That I really do believe that people aren't scared anymore, right? They're not scared of consequences. They would rather scam that little $6-7 million, right? Because they only know they're going to do a couple years in jail. Isn't that worth it? That's more money than half of Minnesota's made in their whole lives. So why wouldn't they do it, right? If it's right there and they can grab it. All that money, this is the one crazy thing that I want you people to understand, is when COVID hit, that's when, if you look at these nonprofits, you look at their 990 forms, that's when a lot of this shit start to boom. The fraud has been here, right? But the way that these programs, daycare, CCAP has been a very long time, adult daycare, autism, you know what I'm saying? Like, all the programs that are really meant to help people, they've taken advantage of. Even non-emergency medical transportation. Like, everybody is hand over fist of trying to get over on somebody else. And that's why it's like, is there really anybody out here that is ethical, that wants to live by the morals? Because I can tell you like this, I'm really getting tired of people saying they pray and they're doing this for God, but then y'all are okay with trans and you're okay with gay marriage. And like, that's the one thing, like, y'all are sitting here doing things in front of God and acting like it's okay. I know that I'm a sinner. I can live up to my sins. The shit that I do, I can live up to. But it's crazy as hell when you put people out there that's dealing drugs, killing people with the fentanyl pills, all having sex with little teenage ass girls, getting them pregnant. You can call that shit out, and motherfuckers will get more mad at you about telling the truth than the person that was doing it. And this shit's really wild to me. I look at Rochester, it's the same exact way. They would rather get on one person than the actual what the problem is, because it's easier. It's easier to gang up on one person. It's easier to gang up on one person. But I'll tell you this, y'all got the right nigga. You got the right one, baby. Telling you like that. Niggas, this is the one crazy thing that I don't understand, right? Is we all bleed. We all bleed. We all have the same 24 hours that God gave us. We all have the air. Because I can tell you right now, most of these people that I call out, I know where you live. So if I had a personal problem, I would pull up. I would pull up. I would pull up. Because I went to jail, I went to prison for shit far, way less. And right now, we're talking about future generations. We're talking about saving Minnesota. And how are we going to save Minnesota? How are we going to save America? Because I can tell you right now, America's never been great. People can say that MAGA shit, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, whatever. The streets have been safe at one time. So when can we get back to that, of making the streets safe again? Making America street safe again. When can we get back to that? When are we going to unite and stop trying to make America great again? And let's make America street safe again. Because this shit that is going around right now is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. You have Democrats taking this whole gun shit control thing to a whole nother they're making the shit performative, right? We need answers. Is the answer to really do a sit-in? That hasn't helped. I can tell you this right now. There's no way that's going to be seen or heard in the House. There's going to be no way. And the crazy thing of it is, I'll tell you like this is, Democrats only want to do gun control because of that school shooting, not of the mass shootings in North Minneapolis, in St. Paul. No, about a school shooting at a church that they fail to fund at the legislature when it comes to safety issues. Or we don't give public safety money to private schools. I think, to me, that's bullshit. And we really left a lot of schools unsafe. Unsafe. You know, y'all want to make sure that ICE doesn't, come in there, but you won't talk about the reason why ICE went into a school that they were running after a person over by Roosevelt High School. They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about the action. They only want to talk about the reaction. And that's to me is wild. It's the same thing that's going on with George Floyd. You got people mad about a white man saying some shit, but a nigga came out here to Minnesota and said, fuck George Floyd. Disrespectfully clown the people in the crowd. John Thompson, Tashir Garraway, clown these niggas. Nobody, this is the one thing that I will never understand, right? And that's why I say, you motherfuckers don't stand for something. You stand for anything. You stand for anything, because why don't you tell the people how much money you've been given from because of your nonprofit, how much money you've been given and been allocated? Why is that so hard? Why is it that when people look at 990 forms and we see shit in there that are red flags, that your salaries for your employees or executive are way more than what you're doing for programs and what you're putting out on the streets? To me, that's wrong. That's wrong. Y'all shouldn't be. This is the one crazy thing that I don't understand, right? Is how do you have people that have nonprofits, right? They're CEOs, they're directors, church pastors. I've never seen it where a church pastor makes over $100,000, and most of the money that comes in is public money. It's either from the state, sometimes the cities. Then you have the residents, the constituents who go to this church by bus. Some walk, maybe some ride bikes, but not the pastor. He got a Benz and lives all the way on Brooklyn Park or Maple Grove. In nice neighborhoods, he doesn't have to worry about the gunfire at night. He doesn't have to worry about motherfuckers riding the streets all reckless and crazy. Y'all have to worry about that. But then you pay your tithes, whatever the fuck they want to call them, tithes, whatever, tithes, every month, your little 10%. But yet, how are y'all being protected? And not the one thing that I hear from a lot of people is, I know God is looking out for me. But why are you paying a false prophet? Why are you paying a false prophet your little 10% every month? Because it's not going to where it needs to be going. A lot of it is going to people's pockets. Look at these 990 forms, run through them. I'm not going to sit here and tell y'all, because you don't have to believe what I tell you. It's all on paper. Go look it up. Go look at 990 forms, and you look at the money that salaries for executives, for employees, you look at their occupancy, you look at their travel. There's so other ways to hide money. And then there's even, there's they can mark money under miscellaneous, right? A lot of people don't even do that right, because you look at these 990 forms and there's all these like expenses, like houses, travel, cars, or I shouldn't say cars, vans. And then you're really looking like, damn. Because I can tell you right now, and this is one of the reasons why, like when we did that presentation to Republicans at the state capitol, one of the things that I wanted to make sure that Robert had put in there was that the fact that they're getting money through nonprofits, but then putting it to for-profit businesses as DBAs. And we put that in there. That was crazy of how, Minnesota Safe Streets went up to the Capitol, and there was all these groups. And the funny thing to me is why a lot of people think they never got any money, or because they never went through committees. They would die. They knew they didn't have the votes, right? So what they did is they waited, and now they're going through them omnibus bills. That's the way that a lot of this nonprofit money is getting through. If you look at the omnibus bills, especially from 23, 24, and even 21 and 22, look at those. Look at those omnibus bills. There was a lot of money that was allocated to nonprofits through pro innovation for public safety. There was so many ways of how they snuck that money in, and people still don't want to believe it. I mean, there is people now, because you see the stories that are coming out, and then you have people, my church wasn't doing that. They just haven't put your church out here yet. But if you really look at it, your church has been involved. You look at Shiloh Temple, they were involved with the Feeding Our Future. Sharon Ross, Twin Cities Refuge. Same thing with Reverend Spence, Sheriff Bob Fletcher. These aren't lies. This is shit you can actually go look up. These are things you can actually go look up. The same thing with Jerry McAfee. This is the one crazy thing of why, like, there's so much bullshit in our community, and that people don't believe it. You have lawsuits that have been out here. They've been settled. People have, when you look at the discovery or you look at the papers in there, and you're saying like, damn, motherfucker wasn't lying. So why is it so hard? Because nobody's paying attention. You have some that pay attention, and those are the ones that usually get over on the rest of the community. Because I can tell you right now that a lot of name me one nonprofit CEO church pastor that lives over north. I'm gonna look that up today, because I'm pretty sure that none of them do. None of them. None. They all live in either Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center, Maple Grove, Chanhassen, Coon Rapids. Sharon Ross lived all the way in Big Lake. Motherfuckers was taking trips. Then you look at the Somalians, went to Faribault, Rochester, St. Cloud, Duluth, and then they got the Black community involved because, listen, some of these places we're talking about, they were feeding 3 to 4 to 5,000 kids a meal, not a day, a meal. So then you times that times 2. Like, how is that not obvious? Even when people are talking about, they had put the grocery store out here that was buying people's food stamps, and then he'd go to like Sam's Club or use the food stamps and then put the shit in his grocery store. That's been going on for years. That's not new. That's not new. You got motherfuckers that charge tax in those little convenience stores over north on food stamps. They're not supposed to tax on food stamps, but you wouldn't know that. You wouldn't even know that they added to the price. That's what be so fucking funny to me is like there's so much bullshit. And just because people do it doesn't make that it's right. Doesn't mean that it's right because slavery was legal. Jim Crow laws were legal. We've got rid of a lot of that shit. But it's a lot of it is still here. If you really want to think about it, you really want to talk about it, a lot of that is still here. And I know I'm sitting here rambling. So let's get into that Ramsey County deadly ride-along.
Sheriff's office likely didn't follow its own policy before a ride-along with the deputy ended tragically.
In early March, a young man exploring a career in law enforcement was riding with the deputy when they responded to a call about a stolen vehicle. Well, they crashed into an SUV near the Capitol at Robert Street and 12th. A man in that SUV was killed, his wife badly hurt, and since then we have been asking, was everything done by the book?
Ben Henry has been pressing the sheriff's office for months, and he joins us right now live with answers. Ben.
Well, after sharing very little in the days following the crash, they just got back to me with a public data request that revealed the ride-along participant did not sign a waiver, which goes against sheriff's office policy. While things are becoming more transparent, there are still several pending questions that we have in with the sheriff's office, but we are still able to gather plenty today and throughout the last several weeks. It took Ramsey County exactly 2 months to respond to my data request, seeking the signed waiver connected to that deadly ride-along, telling us they don't have any data or documents as no waiver was signed. The sheriff's office declined our request for an interview and did not answer specific questions. So we are still pressing for a few specifics, including why a ride-along waiver was not signed, if anyone has been disciplined, and if there's been any changes to their policy. Now, the sheriff's office did say that the waiver issue and the crash will be part of a separate internal affairs investigation. But first, the State Patrol needs to wrap up their investigation into the crash and then share their findings with a county attorney for possible charges. I have confirmed today, to avoid a conflict, the Ramsey County attorney has asked Anoka County to take over that work. I am told that work is ongoing and could take several weeks. We'll, of course, share developments when we get them. Live in St. Paul, Ben Henry, 5 Eyewitness.
Yeah, that ain't nothing new. Just like I said about feeding our future. Bob, Ramsey County Sheriff, was involved with Sharon Ross. So was Reverend Spence. He's their community, I don't know, kind of relations officer or whatever. But he was tied in with Sharon Ross. Like, that's the one thing that I don't understand, right? Is how can you be an elected official? And I say because you're elected every I think it's 4 years for sheriffs. So you get elected by the people, right? But then yet you scam the people. That makes no sense to me. Like, why? I don't understand that. And when is enough going to be enough for the rest of Minnesota? Are you going to get mad enough when? Because I can tell you right now that the things that they're doing at the state capitol aren't for us. It's not for us. I can tell you that right now that it's not for us. And it makes me wonder of like, how are we sitting here going for this shit? How are we sitting here standing for it? So I was talking earlier about how the Democrats are about to do a sit-in if the gun bill wasn't brought up to the House floor, and that's the part that I want to talk about here for a little bit.
Your topic does have your lawmakers at odds.
And we are talking about gun reform. Now, state Democrats are threatening a sit-in to have their bill heard. Our Barrett Leon live at the Capitol this morning with the very latest. Barrett.
Hey, good morning. Still no deal on gun reform. And as you said, some are trying a new tactic to move this bill forward. Take a listen to this from the House floor yesterday.
If Speaker Demuth does not report this bill by 5 p.m. tomorrow on Thursday, May 14th, I, along with other members of this body, will engage in an overnight sit-in here in the chamber.
Some House Democrats are threatening a sit-in if Republican House Speaker Lisa Dameth doesn't let them vote on a gun control bill that has already passed the Senate. It would ban semi-automatic weapons and large magazines and has strong support from families impacted by the Annunciation school shooting. Speaker Dameth has said the House will only vote on the bill after it passes through some committees. Democrats say she's holding it hostage.
I'm curious if you could inform the body how the bill will be able to move through committee if it is still being held in a drawer somewhere.
Representative Long, that bill is being reviewed and it will move through at the appropriate time.
Later today, advocates plan to deliver more than 7,000 petitions to Speaker Dameth, demanding the House act on the bill before this session ends. And earlier this week, a GOP spokesperson said that this bill has not passed a single committee in the House, adding that Speaker Dameth has said in the past that she will not prevent a floor vote if the bill completes the House committee process. And again, end of session is Sunday, meaning just 4 days to get this done.
I mean, see, it's not a lot of time.
We talked about sticking points, and this was one of the big ones. So we'll have to wait and see. As you mentioned, Barrett, that countdown.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure at 5 o'clock today, you'll see a sit-in, overnight sit-in. So yeah, that is something that I'm sure at 5 o'clock they'll do their sit-in. I don't know what legislators. I know there's a few. So it'll be curious to see that. I'm told that people will do the sit-in at 5 o'clock. There'll be a couple legislators. I'm not sure if there'll be organizations, parents from Annunciation shooting, but I'm pretty sure they'll make this sit-in very performative and Oscar performing. So I'm just saying, I think it's a tragedy that happened at Annunciation. But no gun did that. It was the person shooting the gun. And us putting more control or restrictions on the Second Amendment, which shall not be infringed. I think a lot of people take even in the Bible, I think people take it out of context. The constitutions, people take it out of context. We can see what they have done with birthright citizenship, because that was supposed to be for descendants of chattel slavery. And now did it with immigrants, and they're just including everybody in that shit when really that was for slavery, and that was so long ago. And now we're using something that was some old legislation. We haven't even worked on it, haven't redone it, haven't reworked it, because I'm sure when they were writing this, right, this Constitution, this Bill of Rights, I can tell you that immigrants were nowhere in the conversation, because this immigration is something that's new. Wasn't the birth of this country that we were talking about immigration. It's only in the last probably like 60, 70 years that we've had to, and especially when it comes to certain populations, because our wars, every war, there always is that we have to take in some refugees, or we have to be taking in these people, and that's fine and dandy. But yet we take them in, they have kids, so now we're taking care of the kids because now they're American citizens because of the natural birthright citizenship. So to me, I think we have a long way to go to get where we should be in America. And even in Minnesota, I think we're so far left. And how do you make that even? How do you try to change the gap? Do you go all the way red? Because I don't think doing it Democrats, because what I've seen is people are getting tired of even the Democrats and are not moving to the DSA, which is still under the DFL, but they're not considered DFL, they're considered DSA. And to me, that is a problem. And I think it's a problem that people don't want to talk about. They don't want to talk about how you have a socialist and a democratic farm labor affiliation, and that doesn't work because they combat each other. They combat each other. The system that Democrats have is they love to get rich off the poor. It doesn't matter if it's, oh, we're going to say we're going to take care of homeless people or we're going to feed people. These niggas tell all lies. Shit has not made a step forward. It's made a step backwards because we always have to fix these idiotic ass issues that really, it shouldn't be idiotic. It should be easy to fix. But because we have so many corporations or we have so many lobbyists throwing money at a lot of these legislators, senators, representatives, that it's not even about the people anymore. It's about the corporations. It's about people with money. It's about the status quo. It's not about the little guy anymore. It's not about the poor. It's not about the little black child that's missing its father because the system chewed his father up and is eating him in jail. Even though he never committed a crime, or to be honest, he should have really got a slap on the wrist, but they're trying to make an example out of him. And that's wrong. We've done that for, I don't know how many years that the father has been out of the home. And you can look at the school to prison pipeline. You can look at the slavery. I won't even say I do the slavery clause in the Constitution that the only reason why Minnesota has any slaves is because of a crime. That's not me being trying to spin some narrative. That's just the truth. That's why they have that and slavery Minnesota. So I do want to get into this House Fraud Prevention and State Agency Oversight Policy Committee. So yesterday they did talk, I think, for a little bit. It was almost about an hour. But they met and talked about the report that they did. There was a little scuff up. I won't even say a scuff up. It got pretty heated. I won't even say the heated part. It got pretty tension. It got pretty tense when Dave Pinto, Emma Greenman, and then you had Isaac Schultz, who really spoke a lot of facts. And you could tell by the way that Pinto and Emma Greenman were getting upset about it, the things that he was saying, is because the shoe fits. The shoe fits. And I'm sure that some of that bullshit ass excuses that you wanted to spew out, Emma and Dave Pinto, that was a lot of feelings and not facts. When they were getting emotional. And at the end of the day, this really shouldn't even be personal. It shouldn't even be personal, but the fact of too many people have been paid off or getting paid by people that are in the system to be doing wrong, and they're not going to bite the hand that feeds them or bite the hand that put them in a new home or a new house. I just said that. New car, vacations, jewelry, new cars. I think I just said that too. But we've all seen it. And it's been called out, and a lot of people didn't want to look at it. I don't think people actually wanted to believe it. They wanted to believe in the good. Because at first, I didn't believe it. Until I started seeing Ben Crump handing out envelopes of cash. I seen people were doing unemployment fraud in different states. And one of the things that I told Ashley that we keep on saying is that thank God we weren't a part of none of that. Wasn't part of none of that. No, anything that getting PPP loans and lying, taking a walk halfway across the country and lying to people. Yeah, I'm just glad I never did any of that. Everything that I've always done has been in front of the community, for the community. I never wanted to get paid from it. I never wanted to, just wanted to live better. And I've completely did a 360 in my life, and I'm very grateful. It ain't easy, but I can tell you like this of living your life in God's footsteps. People can say whatever they want. My life is an open book. You can shine a light on it. There ain't nothing I'm scared to talk about. And I really want people to just know that I'm really not scared to talk about anything and everything. So here goes that Fraud and Waste Committee.
Just give a brief overview and then note for the record that under our rules, the minority has the opportunity to present a minority report as well, which would be due Friday, and we're happy to do another hearing to adopt the minority report. And I actually think, you know, I encourage you to do it. I think it's important for the public record for the work of this committee. So as members of the public may or may not know, this committee is historic in that the Minnesota House of Representatives, it's the only time we've ever had an oversight committee in the history of the legislature. And this was created in the wake of the tie in January 2025 as part of the negotiated power sharing agreement. The House Fraud Prevention and State Agency Oversight Committee was created. So at the end of this session, the committee will no longer exist. When we adjourn, sine die, everything dissolves. But I highly recommend to the next legislature that they reconstitute the Oversight Committee, because I think institutionally we have played a very important role in taking a broader look across all the agencies at the opportunity for fraud, internal controls that have not worked or enabled fraud, and trying to hold agencies accountable. And I think because we've had this broad lens, we've been able to see the pattern across many programs and across different agencies, and I think that has served the public well, and I hope that this work continues. So with that, I will just give a brief overview of our report, and I encourage the public and members of the committee, if you haven't read it, to read it, and I will also send it out to all the members of the House in both parties, and they can hopefully read it over the interim, because there's a lot to learn from our work over the last 2 years, and we need to make sure that we continue to push for the changes that we've identified. So generally speaking, we found that the Walz administration enabled fraud by having a culture that accepted fraud, tolerated fraud, tried to suppress fraud in some ways, and did not hold anyone accountable in the agencies. And the public sees that there are being criminal indictments and charges and sentencing for the criminals who engaged in this fraud through our federal partners at the U.S. Attorney's Office. And we're grateful for the justice on the criminal side, but we also need accountability in the agencies and in the administration, and we will continue to push for that. Secondly, I think when we started this work, I don't think we even grasped the scale of the fraud. And I think one of the values of this committee is exposing the scope of the fraud that sadly has gone on in Minnesota government. We first saw it in childcare, then it went to feeding our future. And from there, that same pattern morphed into a lot of the Medicaid waivered services program. So many of the programs that we've looked at in our hearings: housing stabilization, integrated community support, sober homes, non-emergency medical transportation, all of these vectors of fraud in a lot of the Medicaid waivered services programs really were spawned from the original fraud back in childcare and then feeding our future. And some of the same actors were involved in these webs of fraud. And I just think, certainly I didn't fully understand that when we got into this, and I think that has been an important contribution of our work. So we also, on page 9, for anyone who's following along, the anatomy of fraud, which I know our colleague Representative Greenman also called the business model of fraud. We spent a lot of time talking about this and identifying these patterns, and I think that is an important thing for the public to look at and to understand, to recognize these signs, and for agency personnel to realize this is the pattern. It's not new. It's not rocket science. We have seen the same pattern over and over and over, and we have to clamp down on it right away. The agencies had the tools. They could have done more on the front end. They could have declared the programs high risk much earlier. They could have done unannounced site inspections. They could have done prepayment reviews. Any of these things years ago would have helped reduce the volume of the fraud, and it's unfortunate that did not happen, but I do think the agencies now are doing more, and we expect them to do more going forward. Then the rest of the report is topical. We go through our hearings and our findings from childcare fraud, from Feeding Our Future, from the different topics we considered and the hearings we had in all these vectors of fraud. And it's very detailed, but I think it's really important not only to show the findings, but then at the end of the report, we go through our recommendations. And the recommendations are the roadmap. The findings are the roadmap for how to spot and stop fraud, not only for our state, but in other states. I think other states are now also taking this seriously. But the recommendations are things we need to implement yet this session and then next year in future sessions so that we can actually stop the fraud, because it is still going on. As we saw last week when we were here, or 2 weeks ago, the FBI conducted 22 raids. Yesterday, there was an indictment in a raid that had happened by a couple weeks ago in SNAP. So the first SNAP indictment came out yesterday. This is going on in real time in our state, and we cannot turn a blind eye, as the Walz administration has done, and we cannot say, oh, we're done for session, we're not doing this anymore. No, this work has to continue. It's incumbent on all of us who now know the scope of this to continue the work. And although the committee will be adjourned, our staff and I are going to continue to do the investigation from all the whistleblower reports we keep doing. Our committee will keep doing investigative work and turning credible findings over to law enforcement over the interim. Potentially, we will hold informational hearings if warranted, and hopefully we will be gearing up for additional legislation next session when the body comes back. So I really encourage people to take a look at the recommendations section, and I encourage my colleagues, if you choose to put together a minority report, that you also have a very robust recommendation section. So I look forward to that. So with that, I'm going to open it up for any statements or questions, and I look forward to the discussion. Thank you.
I don't know. I kind of feel like within the last 2 years, a lot of that was kind of, not saying that the Fraud and Waste Committee was performative. I just think that without bipartisan support and only really one party really going after the fraud, because to be honest, Democrats aren't really taking it serious. I'll just be honest. I really don't feel like Republicans are taking it serious, or Democrats ain't taking it serious, and that's because they're majorly involved. So I want to get to, I know I probably don't even know why I'm talking about this, but there's outrage over comedy, right? At Kevin Hart's roast, he let a comic went up there. I shouldn't say he let, a comic went up there and made a joke, right? Wasn't a good joke. It's probably bad. To be honest, I think the only reason why a lot of people are talking about it, it's because it's a white guy. Because I've never heard about him until this. So I don't really know much about the the comedian. But he did say something that was probably wrong, and he's probably come out and apologized for it. Because it was in bad taste. But there's black people that say fuck George Floyd and all kinds of other shit, and we don't do anything. So why are we getting our panties in a bunch? Well, I know what it is. It's over money. Everybody knows Charleston White probably doesn't have the same type of money that Kevin Hart does. So money is a factor. I just want people to look at that and see it what it really is for. It's just about money.
It's true he lost his gig hosting the Academy Awards because of some homophobic tweets, but you'd be homophobic too if you were eye level with everyone's cock. He got into a fist fight on a private plane, proof that no matter how much money black people have, they're still just gonna act like ninjas. Always fighting. Like Bill Cosby, Hart is a black comedian from Philadelphia, and like Bill Cosby, women don't know when Kevin is inside of them. You've done good though, Kevin. The black community is so proud of you. Right now, George Floyd is looking up at us all, laughing so hard that he can't breathe.
there you don't see people get into an outrage or you heard a lot of people laughing. You did hear some, "Ugh," but you heard a lot of people laughing. Um, and to me, I don't think it's warranted what he did, what the joke was, but obviously, I don't know anymore, right? Because there's so much selective outrage or people getting mad about dumbass shit and then don't even get mad at the things that we should actually be mad about and want to change. I want to go to that clip about Charleston White and how what he said about George Floyd.
On the floor with Mickey Frost. I don't know what done happened with you niggas, but the one rule of there's no honor amongst thieves. There's no honor amongst thieves. So why are we getting into this game? And these rules were made long before we came along. There's no honor amongst thieves. So why are we trying to bring honor amongst a bunch of thieves? The first rule of nature is self-preservation. You want me to preserve you and not me? You would be a goddamn fool. And this is the first rule of law in nature. It's the first rule of law in nature. Oh, I was ready to die behind Timber Rice. And when George Floyd died, I said, nigga, fuck. How they gonna get mad for George Floyd? Nigga, they didn't even blink an eye for the baby. For the baby. They don't. Matter of fact, they still ain't mad about George Floyd. I told them once, that motherfucking white boy holiday, that 4th of July, they got to pop fireworks, eat barbecue, and then the white boy gave them basketball. When they gave them niggas basketball, they forgot about George Floyd.
The truth will make you free. You ain't did nothing but risk your life to give us some gems. I couldn't take my baby to go march with George Floyd. Why? Because my friend gave him a chance to come in. But he was so high he committed a crime and wouldn't even leave the scene. And now our city got to burn down for that. That's not a good cause. So I salute you. And I thank you humbly for coming here.
Man, I appreciate that. My change.
So to me, I do feel like it's selective outrage. And I don't know if our country or the people in it or if anything is actually going to get better I would hope at some point, right? I don't do this for clicks. I don't do this for follows. I don't do that for none of that shit. I wanted to talk about, everybody knows that it's coming up today, be 6 years, but I found this kind of, they talk about how people disrespect. George was an addict. So doing a cash-only bar, people having alcoholic drinks, how is that paying respect? I'm going to be honest, how is that paying respect? That's not. This isn't about George Floyd. It's not about the remembrance, anything about that. Because you're allowing alcohol. I don't understand it. People are allowing them spirits in their body. And to me, it's like everything that these people are trying to do, it beats. I don't know. I can tell you right now that I get kind of a little upset about it or whatever, and I think a lot of people should be. I really do think a lot of people should be mad. They should be, it should be upset. And the fact that people aren't is crazy to me, of how you're upset about a white person doing it, but not our own black people. To me, that's sissified. That's you leaving the black man alone because you already know what that's going to end up like. But we're going to talk about the white boy because he's soft. Probably fold quick. And that just doesn't make sense to me, man. It just doesn't. I don't get it. Yeah, it'd be wild. Things be truly, truly wild to me. I don't understand it.